Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a forgery detail. For the past 6 weeks, a man has been passing phony payroll checks in your city. You've got a description, but no positive identification. The check forgeries continue. Your job? Stop them.
It was Tuesday, May 17th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of forgery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Welsh. My name's Friday. We were on our way back from lunch, and it was 1:13 p.m. when we got to room 29. Forgery.
Yes, ma'am, that's right. I see. Hold on a minute, will you, please? Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Skipper wants to talk to you and Smith.
Right, thanks.
Well, just one thing, ma'am. Could you tell me what kind of a town it is? Yes, ma'am, I understand that. Is it a
Come in.
town? Well, in that case, your husband's got a perfect
Hi,
right.
Skipper.
You want to see it?
Yes, sit down. I guess you know what's on my mind.
Oh, we got a pretty good idea, yeah.
Corner Pocket had me in this morning. Been getting beefs from all over town. Factories raising Cain because their employees can't cash legitimate payroll checks. Merchants scared to death of being stuck with a phony. Making any headway on this guy?
Not much.
Well, just where do we stand? Lay it out.
Well, he passed another one last Tuesday, a tailor shop on South Jefferson.
How many does that make?
Well, 24 that we know of.
All in the last 6 weeks?
Give or take a couple of days.
You sure they're from the same guy?
Same M.O., same description.
A couple of times he had a woman with him. Said she was his wife. We sent out circulars on them both.
Got any results?
1 or 2 leads. They didn't pan out.
What about your informants?
Nothing.
They're holding out?
I don't think so. I don't think they know him.
Captain Welch. Yeah? Yeah, they're here. Uh-huh. I see. Okay, give me the address. Yeah? Yeah, I got it. Don't worry, I'll tell him. 24 bum checks, huh?
That's right, Skipper.
That's wrong.
Huh?
25 now.
On April 6th, we'd received the first report in this series of check forgeries. A grocery store on the corner of Oakwood and 3rd had cashed what appeared to be a payroll check from the Jeffers Carner Aircraft Company. It was marked payable to Russell J. Foreman. In our investigation, Frank and I had learned that the check was fictitious and that the company had never employed anybody by that name. We had also learned that bona fide Jeffers Carner checks were printed in a different manner and in a different color. During the next 5 weeks, we'd received additional reports of forged payroll checks supposedly issued by various Los Angeles manufacturers. In each case, the suspect had had what seemed to be good identification, either a driver's license or an employment ID card from the company named on the check. The suspect had never used the same name or the same plant twice, but descriptions given by victims had indicated that the forgeries were all the work of one man. On 3 occasions, he'd been accompanied by a woman who had been introduced as his wife. Victims had been unable to make an identification from our mug books. Descriptions of both suspects and their M.O. had been checked to the staff's office and had been sent to CII up in Sacramento. A local and an APB had been gotten out. The 25th victim was Alvin Driscoll, owner of a men's clothing store on South Maryland Avenue. Frank and I interviewed him at his shop. He told us that the forged check which he had cashed appeared to be from the Elderdale Oil Refinery.
I come into the store, bought a couple of items, gave me his payroll check to pay for them. That's all there was to it.
That was last Friday?
Friday morning, along about 9:30 a.m.
What was it he bought, Mr. Driscoll?
Sports shirts. That counter over there. Marked down to $2.98. Some of them was as high as $5 last year. They're real good buys, believe me. Yeah, medium. That was his size.
Uh-huh.
What else can you tell us about this man?
How's that?
What did he look like, sir?
Well, like I said, he takes a medium shirt. That'd make him, pretty average.
Mm-hmm.
About 170, I'd judge. Black hair, a little bit of gray in it. Pleasant face. Ordinary fellow.
How was he dressed?
Suit, shirt, button-down collar. Suit was a charcoal brown, about the shade of that one on the rack over there, down at the end. See it?
Mm-hmm.
When he gave you the check, did you ask for any identification?
Well, I didn't have to ask. He just handed it over. He had a whole wallet full. Driver's license, union card, whole wallet full.
Well, that may have been forged, too.
Well, it looked genuine to me.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't any way of my knowing it was phony. I done just what I was supposed to. Everything. Make sure you get identification of your cash check.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the bank says. It's what you police fellows say, too, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm still out $100, ain't I?
Looks that way, doesn't it?
Mr. Driscoll, is there anything you can tell us about this man?
Well, No, nothing that comes to mind.
Did he have a car? Do you know that?
Yeah, I know.
Well, did he?
Brand new Ford Convertible. You know, one of them two-tone models. Probably wasn't even broke in yet, but that sure don't keep him from gunning it when he went barreling out of here.
Are you certain about this?
About what?
Well, that he was driving a new Ford Convertible.
Well, I guess I know one when I see one. I'm considering buying a new Ford myself. Not like that snazzy roadster he had. A sedan, maybe. Had me a demonstration drive a couple of weeks ago.
I see.
Oh, my. Now I'll probably have to make out with my old clunker another year. Thanks to his bum check.
Well, sir, did you happen to notice the license number?
On the convertible?
Yes.
Yes, I noticed it.
Well, do you happen to know if it was a California plate or an out-of-state?
It's California.
Do you remember the number?
Now, what do you fellows think I am, anyway? You expect me to memorize a whole string of figures like that when I only seen them once? I ain't no quiz kid.
Yes, sir.
When you're my age, you can't keep every little thing in your head, you know.
Yes, sir.
Would it really make any difference if you was to have that license number?
Well, yes, sir, it might.
Then I guess it's a good thing I jotted it down.
The victim, Alvin Driscoll, checked his files and showed us a carbon copy of the sales slip for the items which the suspect had purchased. On it, he had noted the license number R1V15347. 3:38 p.m. Frank and I went back to the office and asked DMV to run down the number for us.
That's right. 5347. Mm-hmm. Will you call us back? Okay, thanks. It'll be a minute or two, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we might be getting our first break.
Yeah. Well, you got a cigarette?
Yeah. You all out?
Well, I wouldn't be asking if I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Doesn't mean anything, Joe. Here you go.
Right, here you are.
No, go ahead, keep them. I got another pack.
That's all right. I'll get some more.
I told you to keep them, Joe. There's only a couple there.
Matter of fact, there's only one.
Oh.
Thanks anyway.
Marjorie Smith. Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Myson? M-Y-S-O-N? Yeah, I got it. 117. Huh? You sure? Yeah, I see. Okay, thanks.
Well?
Well, DMV came up with a car to match that plate.
Uh-huh.
There's one thing wrong. It isn't a brand new Ford.
Oh?
It's a 6-year-old Buick.
The Department of Motor Vehicles had reported that the car bearing license number R1V15347 was registered in the name of Philip B. Myson at 117 South Helen Avenue. Records showed that the car in question was a Buick sedan, which had been manufactured 6 years earlier. We ran Myson's name through R&I. They had nothing on him. We also ran the license number through our auto records to check to see if it was a stolen plate or a hot car. The report was negative. 4:09 p.m., Frank and I drove out to the Helen Avenue address. It was a small one-story bungalow with rain-streaked stucco walls. Try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is it?
Police officers.
Well,
You're Miss Philip Myson?
yeah.
Miss Frank Smith, my name's Friday.
All right, your name's Friday, his name's Smith, my name's Myson. Where's that go?
We'd like to talk to you for a minute, Miss Myson.
You mean you want to come inside?
Well, it might be a little easier to talk there.
Nobody's stopping you.
That's fine.
If you want to sit down, you have to clear off a space. I'm not much of a housekeeper.
Sorry, we can stand.
Suit yourself.
Miss Myson, is your husband home?
Phil?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
Do you know where we might get in touch with him?
No.
You must have some idea.
I haven't seen him since last March.
Oh?
What kind of a car does he drive?
Ask him.
Do you ever own a Buick sedan? License number R1V15347.
Why?
We'd like to know where the car is now.
It's out in the garage, and that's where it's staying. You can tell that lousy crumb if he thinks he's going to take the car away from me. He's got another think coming.
Your husband isn't trying to take your car.
Yeah? What are you doing here?
We'd like to check the license plate, that's all.
You sure that's all you want, just to check the license?
That's all.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll get you the garage key.
Thank you.
Sorry if I gave you a rough time. You can't blame me. Sorry if you're like my husband. He'd have to try anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, here you are. Be sure you lock it up when you're done.
Yes, ma'am. I'll take a look at it, Joe.
Right.
I might have known it was too good to last.
Ma'am?
Not hearing from Phil for over 2 months.
Is he still in Los Angeles, would you know?
Not if he's got good sense.
What do you mean?
If he's smart, he'll stay as far away from me as he can.
Yeah.
He's just plain lucky I didn't kill him. Giving me a shirt with some other dame's lipstick on the collar, expecting me to wash it out. I should have throttled him with it.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have a picture of your husband, Miss Mason?
Why?
We'd like to know what he looks like.
Like a bum, that's what.
Do you have a picture?
Snapshot, maybe.
Would you see if you can find one for us?
All right. Just looking at him will probably spoil my supper. Yeah, here's something. I'm married to a face like that, and I have to worry about other women.
All right, if we borrow this for a couple of days?
Do me a favor. Keep it.
Sure.
Excuse me, Miss Mason. Yeah.
That's the right license plate for the wrong car.
Buick sedan?
Just like DMV had at 6 years old.
Okay.
Here's your key, ma'am.
You locked up tight?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry if we bothered you.
Oh, forget it. Hey, wait a minute.
Yes.
Not that I give a darn, but how about telling me why you're so interested in Phil?
It was just a police matter.
You don't think he pulled a job or something?
Why should we think that?
You shouldn't. If you do, you're way off base. You really picked the wrong guy.
Yes, ma'am.
Take it from me, if a jerk like Phil ever got out of line once, just once, you boys wouldn't have to go looking for him.
Oh?
No. You'd catch him red-handed.
Frank and I left the Meissen home and contacted Alvin Driscoll. He confirmed his description of the suspect's car, but he admitted he might have been mistaken about the license number. We showed him Meissen's photograph, and he was certain that Meissen was not the man who had passed the forged check. The next day, May 18th, we showed the Meissen photo to several of the other victims. They all agreed that he was not the forger. 11:17 a.m., we went over to DMV and began to try variations of the license number Mr. Driscoll had given us to see if we could come up with a late model Ford convertible. 12:32 p.m.
How you doing?
Well, I turned up a couple of Fords, no convertible.
I've switched the last 2 numbers every way I can think of. What are you working on now?
V15.
Okay, I'll try the 5-3 part of it.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
New Ford, only 1 digit off.
Convertible?
Yeah?
Sounds like it might be it.
It's pretty hard to tell, yeah.
What do you mean?
Belongs to a car rental agency. DMV records showed that a vehicle similar to the one we were looking for was registered to the C.P. Adams Auto Rental Agency on South 6th Street. 2:17 p.m. Frank and I went over there and talked to the owner, Clifford P. Adams.
Would you give me that number again, please?
It's R1V35347.
All right, I got it. Now, if you'll just give me a moment to check our records.
Yes, sir.
Now, we have a stock of over 50 cars. It's a little difficult to remember all the license numbers.
Yes, sir, it would be.
Mm-hmm. Here we are. It seems you're quite correct. That's one of our automobiles, a new Ford.
Can you tell us what model it is?
It's a convertible, yellow and black.
Uh-huh.
Most of our cars are convertibles. When people come to Southern California, that's what they all want.
Yes, sir.
Anything else I can do for you?
Yeah, is that car rented right now?
Well, I couldn't say offhand. Would you like me to find out?
If you will, please.
Be glad to. Be glad to. It's a different file, that's all.
I see.
Let's see. Oh, yes, this is it. No, that car's in the shop today. Grease job, oil change, regular checkup.
Do you have the names of the people who've rented it lately?
They're right here on the card. Any particular date?
How about last week? Thursday.
Thursday. That would be Mr. Waters, Mr. Gerald Waters. He used the car all last week, just turned it back yesterday.
Your regular customer?
He's rented from us several times, as I recall, on and off during the last month or so.
Can you tell us what he looks like?
Actually, I've only seen him once or twice. He's a youngish man, about 40, tall, black hair, a little gray at the temples.
How about his wife? Did you ever meet her?
Yes, she picked up a car for him.
Would you describe her, please?
Well, I think she was blonde. Nice looking, probably in her 30s. That's about all I can remember.
Yeah, their address, Mr. Adams.
Oh, yes. We try to get all the information we can about our clients, but I'm afraid it's in a different file.
All right, take your time.
Someday we'll have to work out a more efficient system for all these records. Thompson, Tucker, Virgil, Waters. Yes, this is it. Home address, Springfield, Illinois.
What about here in town?
Oh, we have that, too. The Haven House Motel on Sunset Boulevard.
I see.
But I'm afraid you won't be able to reach them there.
Oh?
When Mr. Waters turned in the car yesterday, he asked us to drive him and his wife to Union Station.
Yeah?
Yeah, he said they were leaving town.
We got a sample of the suspect's handwriting, and we asked Mr. Adams to get in touch with us if he heard from Gerald Waters again. We sent a teletype to Springfield, Illinois, requesting any information they might have about Gerald Waters. The next day, May 19th, the Springfield PD replied that a man answering Waters' description was wanted for a series of Illinois check forgeries. They also said his true name was Fred H. Joyce. They said that they were forwarding a mugshot airmail special delivery. The mug arrived on Friday, May 20th. We showed it to 4 of the check victims, and they all positively identified the photograph. 3:36 p.m., Frank and I drove over to the Adams Car Rental Agency to confirm the identification.
Hi, Mr. Adams.
Well, this is quite a coincidence.
Sir?
You're coming here today. I just called you a little while ago.
We didn't get any message.
Well, I didn't leave any message. I wasn't sure it was important.
Well, what was it you wanted?
About Mr. Waters, you told me to let you know if I heard from him again.
That's right.
Well, I did.
What's that?
He wants to rent another car.
We showed Mr. Adams the mugshot of Fred Joyce, and he stated positively that Joyce and Gerald Waters were the same man. He also told us that Waters had called the car rental agency about 11 o'clock that morning to make arrangements for renting a new convertible. Joyce had asked him to have the car ready at 5:30. He said he would pick it up. Frank and I waited in Adams' office, 5:28 p.m. Want to go ahead and answer?
CP Adams Car Rentals. Who? Oh, yes, just a minute. It's him, Mr. Waters, or whatever his real name is.
Let's find out what he wants.
Yes, Mr. Waters. Oh, yes, it's all ready. I thought you were going to pick it up. Oh. Well, I don't know. Hold on a second. He says he's tied up, that he can't get away. He wants us to deliver the car.
Ask him where he's calling from, will you?
Where are you, Mr. Waters? I say. Well, I don't know. I'm a little short-handed today. I'll have to check. That phone booth somewhere in Wilshire.
Where does he want you to send the car?
Where do you want the car delivered, Mr. Waters? Mm-hmm. The Crest Plaza. How soon? I guess we could make it by then.
Tell him to get it to him.
All right, Mr. Waters. We'll do our best. Thank you very much. You'll be in the bar of the Crest Plaza Hotel at 6:30, just off the lobby.
Right, thanks a lot.
Oh, about the car. I wouldn't want it damaged.
Don't worry, Mr. Adams. You don't need to send it.
What?
We'll take care of his transportation. We went over to the Crest Plaza Hotel. It was 6:28 p.m. when we arrived. There were 2 entrances to the bar. Frank went in through the lobby, and I used the street door.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Got any hot coffee?
Yeah.
Black, please.
That all you want?
Yeah, that's all. Not very busy tonight, are you?
Place livens up later on.
All right.
Evening. Hi, you 2 guys together?
That's right.
He wants coffee, too, huh?
Yeah, Black.
Figures. Okay, sports. I'll get it.
You see him?
No, he's probably not here yet.
Here you are.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. That'll be 20 cents.
All right. There you are.
You sure you don't want anything to drink?
No.
Well, would you mind finishing the coffee over in the booth?
What do you mean?
Well, it's not good for business.
Why?
We sell booze, not coffee. Other customers come see you sitting here swilling coffee. It's liable to give them ideas. A thing like that catches on, the place will go broke.
We're police officers.
What?
Police officers.
Well, what are you doing here? Something wrong?
A couple of questions we want to ask.
Yeah, about what?
Take a look at this picture. I'd like you to tell us if you know him.
Wait a minute. Let me get some light. Yeah. Yeah, I see this guy around.
Does he live here in the hotel?
I don't think so. He comes in once in a while, though. He usually drags a blonde around with him.
Mm-hmm.
You guys been looking for him long?
Quite a while, yeah.
You must be looking in the wrong places.
What do you mean?
He just walked through the door.
That's him.
Let's go.
About dry martini, eh? Couple of them will set pretty good before dinner, huh? Yeah? Something you want?
You Gerald Waters?
What?
Gerald Waters, is that you?
You from the car lot?
You come up with the first answer, mister. How about the name?
Yeah, I'm Waters. Where's the car?
You won't need it. Police officers, you're under arrest.
What are you talking about?
You keep out of this, honey.
All right, come on, Waters, on your feet.
You better take it easy. You're liable to find out you're rousing the wrong guy.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to run that risk. Get up.
Okay.
Keep your hands on the table.
I don't know what this is all about, but I know you haven't done anything wrong, Gerald. Whatever happens, I'll stick by you. I'll get a lawyer. I'll raise the money somehow. Whatever happens, I'm never going to leave you, Gerald.
Don't worry about it, lady.
What?
You're coming along. We took the 2 suspects into custody and drove them down to the city hall. 7:08 p.m. We turned the female suspect over to a policewoman to be searched, and we brought Joyce into the squad room for interrogation.
All right, Joyce, take everything out of your pockets. My name's Waters. You know that. We know it's Joyce, too. Go on, empty.
Lay the stuff on the table. Where do these keys fit?
Lockers.
Where?
I forget.
Sure.
Listen, why are you holding my wife? She hasn't done anything. If you think you can frame me, go ahead and try it, but turn her loose.
That's not up to us.
Why not?
She's been with you too often.
What do you mean?
When you were passing those phony checks.
Phony checks? Is that what you think I've done?
There are about 25 people who say it was you.
They're wrong, that's all. Dead wrong.
They don't think so.
Are you willing to go to court?
I better shut up.
Ever been in Illinois, Joyce?
What?
Springfield.
What do you know about that?
You're in the upper brackets, Joyce. We got the whole story.
Come on, Joyce. It'll make it easier all around.
How about it?
Where's Myra?
She's all right.
Where is she?
Right down the hall.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
We can get together on this thing. We can come to an agreement.
Go ahead.
What if I admit the whole deal? Tell you all about it.
Yeah.
What about Myra? Will you let her go?
That depends.
On what?
How clean she is.
Oh, she'll stand any kind of a look. She's never been in any trouble.
Mm-hmm. And she hasn't got anything to worry about.
Go ahead with the story.
Okay, I'll get on your side. I'm the guy you're looking for.
We knew that going in.
Whole thing started right after Myra and I were married.
Yeah.
Was making pretty good money, enough to give her the things she wanted. You know, she's a pretty girl. A woman like that's got to have nice things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it happened. Just all of a sudden, the bottom seemed to drop out of the whole company.
You mean your business?
Yeah. The whole thing just seemed to explode. No matter what I did, it was wrong. Nothing worked.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't let Myra know about it. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
I tried to borrow the money, talked to all my friends, tried to get them to stake me again.
Mm-hmm.
All I could see of them was their backs. I had to do something.
So you started hanging paper.
It was the only way, the only one.
Do you have any more checks?
Yeah, keys there. They're for a locker downtown. You'll find all the stuff there.
Okay.
All right, now how about it?
What?
Now, you let Myra go? She didn't know anything about it, not a thing. She didn't have anything to do with it, I swear to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to hold her, are you? Now that I've told you the truth.
Forgery, Friday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where? Okay, thank you. They just checked your wife's prints, Joyce.
Why'd they do that? You aren't going to hold her. You gave me your word. You don't want her for anything.
A couple of other states do.
What?
You aren't the only husband she's had, and you aren't the first forger she's worked with either.
What kind of a double cross is this?
No double cross. She's got a record as long as your arm.
That's a lie, a dirty, lousy lie.
Oh, take it easy, Joyce. Sit down.
Still a lie.
Figure it out for yourself. Take a good look.
What do you mean?
Did your wife know anything about the checks?
Sure, after we got going. Wasn't any way to keep it away from her.
How about when you started? She know then?
No.
You sound pretty sure.
Maybe you talked it over with her, huh?
I don't know, maybe.
She might have helped you out a little then, huh?
Maybe some of the operation was her idea.
How about it, Joyce?
I don't know. I don't much care anymore. Maybe it was her idea. Maybe she did play me for a sucker.
Sure sounds that way to us.
Doesn't really make any difference if she did. Take a look around you, cop. Everybody's a sucker. Everybody in the world is going to fall for a con game sooner or later. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys that cash the checks for me. Suckers, every one of them, just like me. Look at all the money they're out.
Well, there's a big difference.
Huh?
That's all they're out.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 17th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Frederick R. Joyce, alias Gerald Waters, was tried and convicted of forgery, 5 counts. Forgery is punishable by imprisonment for a period of not less than 1, nor more than 14 years on each count.
Just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service. Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a robbery detail. 2 men have been terrorizing the tavern keepers in your city. In spite of your efforts, they continue to run free. Your job, stop them.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, June 14th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. My name's Friday. We're on our way out from the office, and it was 11:13 a.m. when we got to the corner of 7th Street and Sunset Boulevard. The Black Dog Bar and Grill.
In the back.
Now,
Hi.
how are you?
Hello. What'll it be?
Police officers.
Oh, cops, huh?
That's right. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How are you? Nick Thomas. I guess about last night, huh?
That's right. We'd like to go over a couple things with you.
Well, sure. Can I get you anything?
No.
You mind if I have a cup of coffee while we talk?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Sure surprised me.
What's that?
Last night, I sure wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
You know, you read about things like that happening, but you just never figure them happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you've been in the business as long as I have. You ought to expect it. At least that's the way I figure it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what do you want to know?
Well, according to what you told the officers last night, the men came in the place about 11:30. Is that right?
That's right, 11:30.
You sure about the time?
Oh, yeah. You see, I always look at that newscaster, 11:15, 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
He went off the air, and they just put up the card where it tells what station it is, and this guy walked right in.
Yeah.
I can't stand him myself.
What?
The newscaster, I can't stand him. Me and the missus have gotten some real bad beefs about him.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, she digs him, but I can't stand him myself. He's a real no good.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of a guy where if some old man spit in the sidewalk, he could build it up so we should evacuate the whole city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he's like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real no good.
Wonder if you checked this description of the 2 men who held you up.
Sure. Know those 2 guys any place. Ever saw them again, I'd sure know them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's them. The tall one and the fat one. That's them. I know them any place.
What'd they say to you?
Well, hardly nothing at all. Just walked up to the bar, leaned over, and told me to hand over the money.
I see. Do you remember the exact words?
You mean the way they said it?
Yeah.
Well, let me see. I think it was, okay, Mac, just a stick-up. Do like we tell you, won't get hurt. Like that he talked.
Mm-hmm.
Just give us the money, don't make any noise.
Yeah.
Well, I did. Walked right back to the register, opened it up, and handed over the loot.
What happened then?
Told me to keep quiet, and then they walked out of the place.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else in here?
Oh, there's a couple of people up in front.
Did the thieves bother them?
No, they were just after the money in the register. Other couple didn't even know there was anybody here until it was all over.
Let me see.
There were a couple of kids.
What's that?
Kids, you know what I mean. Like young and real in love. Roof could have fallen in. They wouldn't have known it.
Yeah.
Cops talked to them last night, but they couldn't tell them nothing.
You say you'd know these men if you saw them again, huh?
You just get all the money you can on that one.
Mm-hmm. Did you see if they had a car?
Who?
The men who held you up.
Oh, no.
They didn't have one, is that?
Well, I didn't see it.
Is there anything about them that you can tell us?
No, just a couple of guys, one tall, the other one fat.
Did you see if they had a gun?
You think I'd have handed over the money if they didn't?
What kind of a weapon was it?
It was a gun, the kind with bullets. You pull the trigger, it goes bang, like that.
Yeah,
It was a gun.
I know, but was it a revolver or an automatic?
Well, I don't know. I guess it was, Well, come to think of it, I guess... Hey, you know, you're right.
What do you mean?
I didn't see it.
Hmm.
Not even a peek. Guy had his hand in his pockets like this, you know, like this.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see the gun, though, not for real.
Mm-hmm.
He just had it in his pocket.
Yeah.
Hey, you figure he was just playing a joke on me?
What's that?
A funny that he really didn't have a gun at all?
Well, we wouldn't know.
Well, why not?
What?
Well, why don't you know? It's your job, isn't it? Knowing things like that? Bunch of crooks running around. You don't even know if they got a gun. The fine lot of cops you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I might have just given him that money for nothing. If he didn't have a gun, there was no reason to hand it over. No reason at all. I should have found out. That's what, huh?
How do you mean?
I made a grab at the guy. Probably didn't have nothing in the pocket but just his hand or something like that.
Yeah.
If he didn't have one, if I was right, I could have told you guys.
Well, what if it was the other way?
Huh?
What if you were wrong? From the method of operation and the description of the suspects, we knew that they were the same 2 men who had staged 6 robberies in the past week. We showed the latest victim the mug shots from the packages that the stats office had turned for us.
He pointed out 3 of the pictures and said they looked something like the hold-up men, but he was unwilling to make even a tentative identification. 11:56 a.m. We returned to the office and put in a call to Leighton Prince. They hadn't been able to turn anything of value. A canvass of the area around the bar had netted nothing. The case stood where it had 7 days before when the robbery was first reported, 1:15 p.m.
Well, it doesn't seem to be a directional trend.
No, they're hitting all over, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Anything from Brereton?
A list of names came in this morning. We've already checked most of them out.
We could use a few more leads.
I'd settle for one.
Yeah.
You seen the skipper?
Yeah, I was in earlier. I don't think it's in the office now.
I wonder when he's going to climb on us.
I don't know. I've been expecting it, Joe. Better off around?
I haven't seen him. Why?
Well, he said he might be able to help us turn something. Yeah. Said he had an informant down on L.A. Street.
Mm-hmm. Hot shot. Let's go. Same 2.
Yeah?
They hit again. Frank and I left the office and drove out to the scene of the latest robbery. It was a small restaurant located on South Spring. By the time we got there, a radio car had arrived, and the officer was checking the area.
You the cops? Are you? Are you more cops?
That's right.
That's what I thought. Other fella, he left. He said he was going to look for the crooks. He just went up the street.
You want to tell us what happened?
Held up, that's what. Held up.
Yes, we understand. Did the officer get a description of the thieves?
Sure, got it first thing. Said something about doing a broadcast or something. I'm not sure what he meant, but that's what he said.
All right. You want to give us your name?
Hector Pip.
What's that?
Pip. P-I-P. Like seed.
Uh-huh.
Conan Doyle wrote a story about him. Pips. Seeds, you know. Yep. Hector Pip.
This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Sure thing. Now, what do you want to know?
Well, would you tell us what happened, please, sir?
Better get on the ball. Can't stand around and waste time. Better get the fellas what did it.
Mm-hmm.
Came in, right through that door. Came in and told me it was a stick-up. That's it, just as plain as anything. Stick up.
Mm-hmm.
Said me to hand over the money in the cash register. Over.
How much was it?
Well, I'm not sure. Must have been about $60, $70. I'm not sure.
Did you see him when they left?
Well, certainly. Couldn't very well miss him. Small place. Just stood here and watched them go. Watched my money go right out the door.
Yes, sir. What I meant was, did you see him get in the car?
No, I didn't. No, I sure didn't. Just stood here and watched them go. But I didn't see no car.
Was there anybody else in the place?
Oh, there was one fellow.
Well, where's he?
He left. All excitement got into gear, and he left. Chintzy, too. Chintzy.
What do you mean?
Owed me for a piece of cream pie and a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen him before?
No, a new face. He ain't from around here. Brand new.
Did you hear either of the 2 men use a name of any kind?
I sure did, yeah.
You want to tell us?
Do I have to?
Well, we'd like you to, if you will.
Lard. That's what he said. Lard.
Which one?
The tall one, like a fence picket. He's the one.
He called the other one Lard.
No.
But you said he used the name.
Sure. But he was talking to me.
Yeah. Well, look, is there anything else you can tell us about the men that might make it easier to identify them?
No, just 2 fellas. One tall, thin, other one fat.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have no reason to call me Lard. I've been on a diet for a couple of weeks. Eating those pills that swell up in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess they work for some people. Just make me feel as though I had a sponge.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything outstanding about the men?
No. Not that comes to mind, no.
They have a gun?
Not right off.
What do you mean?
Didn't have one when they come in. Of course, I didn't know that. No, sir, I didn't have any idea, no.
Mm-hmm.
Got him now, though. Stole him with the money.
What?
38 revolver and the 25 automatic. Took him.
Frank and I took the latest victim to the city hall. While he started to check the mug books, we ran the serial numbers of the guns through the record section. We found that they were both registered to Hector Pip. At 3:46 p.m., Frank came back to the office from the mug room.
Joe?
Back here. How's it going?
Oh, long. He still hasn't found anything.
What's he checking now?
Coming out books. Got 4 or 5 more to go through.
Did you show him the pictures the stats office turned?
Yeah, nothing.
Hi, what you guys doing?
Hi, Walt. Mug room.
I'm looking for you.
Yeah?
Talked to a fellow down on Main this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Says he knows the guys you're looking for.
We made arrangements for somebody to stay with the victim, and then Frank and I left the city hall. Sergeant Walt Bitteroff drove us over to talk to his informant. We found him in a cheap hotel on Wall Street.
All right, Walt, come on in.
Thanks, Angie.
You get it?
Yeah. Here you are.
Hey, cold?
Right out of the icebox.
Yeah, thanks.
These are the two guys I told you about, Angie.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you want some cold beer?
No,
thanks a lot.
How about you, Walt? You don't mind if I have one?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I must have had a good time last night.
Yeah.
I feel like they're 3 feet apart.
Uh-huh.
Hey, nothing like a cold beer next morning. Yeah. My girlfriend gave me some new glasses, like in the beer commercials.
Yeah, nice.
Sure looks good, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, sir. That's what I needed. Funny.
What?
Funny about beer. Always tastes good, but a glass like this makes it taste better. Ambrosia. Pure ambrosia.
Yeah, I wonder if we can get down to business, Angie.
Oh, sure. Now I get my head back. What can I do for you?
Said you had some information on the two guys who are pulling these bar holdups.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd like you to tell Friday and Smith here about it.
They cops?
That's right.
You're after fellas, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Walt tell you anything about setup?
What do you mean?
Well, anything you get, it didn't come from me.
Yeah, they know that, Angie.
Well, I gotta make sure. I remember something that helps you out. I forget it right away. You talk to me 5 minutes from now, I don't remember. Deal?
All right. What about the guys?
Heavy. Got in town a couple of months ago.
Where are they from?
St. Louis.
You got the names?
Yeah, part of them.
What do you mean?
Well, just what they're called. That's all I got.
That'll do.
Well, don't pay to ask too many questions, you know.
Yeah.
Step on somebody's toes and you find a foot in your face.
What about the names?
Well, the tall one's called Ronnie. Fat guy's tagged Whale.
Is that what everybody calls them?
All I heard.
You know where they live?
Nope.
Where'd you meet them?
I move around. I run into them a couple of bars. Seen them once or twice.
Well, how do you know they're the ones we're after?
Just figures, that's all. Got a big roll, talk loud, where they look, just figure.
You know where we can pick them up?
Haven't got any idea.
They driving a car?
Not that I've seen.
Anything else you can tell us about them?
You've had it.
Have either one of them fallen?
No, we never spent an evening talking about it, but it figures they did.
Back east, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so. I heard the Whale say this was the first time they'd been on the coast.
All right, Angie, if there's nothing else.
There isn't.
If you hear anything, Angie, we'd appreciate a call.
Works out, I'll let you know. I'm not going to put anything in writing. Those jokers hear about it, and I'd have to dig a hole.
Okay.
Thanks for coming by, Walt.
Yeah.
Glad to have met you guys. See you again, huh?
Yeah.
Sure. Thanks for the beer, Walt.
It's okay.
Sure made the difference. First got up, I felt like a gang of midgets had been playing soccer in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Rough last night. Gotta make a few calls around, find out.
Huh?
What kind of time I had.
We returned to the office and sent a radiogram to the St. Louis Police Department requesting all information on anyone in their files who'd used the nicknames Ronnie or Whale. We checked the two names through our moniker file without result. The next day, Wednesday, June 15th at 5:26 p.m., we got word from the east.
Here it is, Joe.
St. Louis?
Yeah, looks like they turned him.
Let me see. Ronald Saba and Gerard Llewellyn. How about Muggs?
Well, we're sending stand-ups right away.
Should be here in the morning, then, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll get it.
What is it?
Robbery out on Olympic. Sounds like Ronnie and the Whale.
How long ago?
Just left the place. Shot it up pretty bad.
Anybody hurt?
Yeah, policemen got in their way. The Green Tree Cafe was located at the corner of Olympic Boulevard and Estrada Street. By the time we got there, an ambulance had arrived, and the wounded officer had been removed to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. A felony car from Central Division had arrived at the scene and had started to search for the officer's assailants. We got the story from the bartender, Alvin Jaggers.
Well, two guys come in, like I told you, walked right in, told me it was a holdup.
How'd the policeman get shot?
On the way out, it happened. After I give the guys the money, started to leave, Abner saw him, tried to stop him.
You know the officer, do you?
Yeah, he comes in once in a while. Him and his wife come in for steak sandwiches.
Was his wife with him tonight?
Yeah. I think she went up to the hospital with him. I think that's where she went.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, when Abner saw these two fellers, you know, the hold-up man?
Yeah.
When he saw him, he told him to put down the guns.
Where was he standing?
You mean Abner?
That's right.
Oh, he was up there by the door. Him and the missus was in the front booth, and the guys went right by him when they come in.
Yeah.
He was standing right up by the door, told him to put down the guns and give up.
Well, now, did he have his gun out of the holster?
Yeah. You know, he had a kind of aim like this here.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon he was afraid of the people in the place, you know, if he had to shoot or something.
Mm-hmm.
And these two fellers stopped by when they saw him dead in their steps, told Abner to get out of the way.
Yeah.
He didn't budge none, held his ground for sure. Him right there, And them here, see? Now, the tall one, he yelled that they was going to leave and Abner shouldn't try to stop him.
Uh-huh.
And they started to walk outside, and Abner brought the gun up so as he could shoot at him.
Yeah.
Didn't make it, though. Shot him dead center right here, in the chest. After that, they run out the place, took off down the street.
Did the officer shoot at him at all?
Didn't have no chance. Guess he was finished before he started.
Well, did the men get into a car?
Well, if they did, I didn't see him. Too much going on.
Did either one of these men use a name while they were in here?
How you mean?
Well, did they call each other by name?
Well, let me think about that for a minute. Yeah, I think they did.
What was it, do you remember?
Well, after the shooting the tall one, he turned to the other fella and he said, "Come on, well, let's get out of here."
Uh-huh. Which one of them did the actual shooting?
No, I couldn't tell you that.
What do you mean?
Well, both of them shot about the same time. Wasn't more than a half a second difference. Bang, bang, real fast. Both about the same time. I don't know if they both hit Abner, but they both shot at the same time.
Have you seen these men around before?
You know, matter of fact, I have.
They've been in here?
Yeah, it must have been 3-4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Come in with Georgia. I guess they're pretty good friends.
Who's she?
Regular customer, spent a lot of time in here. Drinks thingers. Rough.
Mm-hmm. You know we can get in touch with her?
Shouldn't be too hard.
Hmm?
She lives down next block.
We left the bar and walked to the entrance of the apartment hotel down the street. According to the building register, Georgia Wells occupied apartment 314. We rang the buzzer, and after a few moments, we were admitted to the building. The elevator wasn't working, so we walked up 3 flights.
Oh, man, I guess I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how far you'd get without all the modern conveniences, huh?
Yeah. This is it here.
Yeah.
Better try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Georgia Wells?
That's right. I know you.
Police officers, we'd like to talk to you.
What about?
Might be better if we came inside.
Sure, come on in. Nothing here to hide. Come on.
We'll look around, Frank.
Yeah.
What's he looking for?
Just want to check the place.
I'm going to find anything here. I got no beef with the cops. Never been in any trouble before. I want to keep it that way.
All right.
It's clean, Joe.
You going to tell me what this is all about?
You know a couple of men named Ronald Saba and Gerard Llewellyn?
Why are you asking?
You know 'em?
Yeah.
You know where they are?
No, look, maybe if you tell me why you're looking for the boys, I can help you out.
It's a police matter.
And you go find them yourself.
When'd you see them last?
A couple of days ago.
Where?
Bar over on 6th.
You know where they live?
Look, mister, I don't carry no water for them, but I'm not going to blow the whistle until I know what the beef is.
It's pretty serious, and you're not doing yourself any good acting like this.
You know where we can find them?
Look, I'm on a level with you. I know the boys. Sure, they're a lot of laughs, good spenders. That's all it is with us.
We got it that you're pretty good friends.
You've been talking to the landlady. She's all the time sticking her nose in where it don't belong.
That's so?
Yeah. She's hacked at me anyway. Go out of her way to make trouble. All the time, she'll go out of her way.
And why'd she do that?
She don't like me, that's why. She got no reason. She just don't like me. All the time yelling about how I'm using too much laundry, how I let the water run too long, beefing about how I'm not supposed to do no cooking in the place. Pot of coffee, and she's ready to take it in front of the UN.
Mm-hmm.
I told the truth. Boys and me been out a couple of times, dinner, drinks, maybe a show, that's all. Nothing serious between us. Matter of fact, they both leave me cold, romantic.
Well, then you shouldn't worry about telling us where to find them.
I just don't want to get mixed up in nothing. That's all there is to it. I don't want to get dragged into something I didn't build. You can see that, can't you, huh? You can see that.
Where do we find them?
They'll be here in 40 minutes.
We put in a call to the office and told them where we were. We got out a local broadcast and an all-points bulletin asking that 2 suspects be picked up. 5:52 p.m. We settled down to wait for the men.
What am I supposed to do when they get here?
Just keep out of the way.
Ain't going to be no shooting, is there?
Not unless they started.
You just don't know anymore.
What's that?
You go out with a guy, nothing serious, few laughs, and you end up in trouble.
They ever tell you what they did for a living?
Ronnie mentioned something about starting a car agency.
Yeah.
He had some deal back east where he could get the cars cheap, then he figured on having them driven out here and selling them. Told me how him and the whale was going to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Said it was the sweetest deal they ever come across. Real sweet, they said.
Mm-hmm.
Joe.
Yeah. You better get in the other room, Miss Wells.
Yeah, sure. Please, no shooting.
All right, go on. Go ahead.
Hi, honey.
All right, mister, hold it right there.
What is this? Come on, turn around.
What?
Turn around. Put your hands up on that wall. There. Here, Joe. 38.
Where'd you get this, Saba?
I don't know what you're talking about.
This gun, where'd it come from?
I never saw it before.
It was in your coat.
Well, then you creeps put it there. It ain't mine.
Where's Llewellyn?
Who?
Gerard Llewellyn.
I never heard of it.
All right, put your hands down.
Can I turn around now?
Yeah.
You guys going to tell me what this is all about?
You know more than we do.
Well, I ain't going to argue about that.
Where's the whale?
You guys been on the spike. I don't know what you're talking about.
You want to call downtown, get somebody out here, we'll take him in.
Yeah.
I got you, huh?
You lousy bum. You finked on us.
I had nothing to do
All
with
right,
it.
take it easy.
She told you, didn't she? Didn't she tell you where to get us?
Doesn't make any difference.
It does to me. All she ever wanted was a good time. All the time wanting to go to the best places. All the time with the expensive clothes. You lousy bum, that's all she is.
All right, that's enough of that.
You're not kidding. You're with me if I never saw her again. Be the best thing.
Well, then you're going to be happy.
Huh?
That's the way it'll be. Another team of men came out from the office and took over the stakeout on the apartment. Frank and I drove Ronald Saba down to the city hall. We put in a call to the receiving hospital and found that the wounded officer would recover. 6:57 p.m. We started to lay out the evidence for the suspect.
We checked the gun through our records section. It's the one you stole from Hector Pip yesterday.
Mistake someplace.
Yeah, but we didn't make it.
You got nothing to hold me on. Nothing.
4 of the victims have seen your picture. They're willing to swear that you're one of the men who held him up.
Yeah, bunch of creeps. That's all they are. The whole slew of them.
Sure.
Come on, where do we pick up your partner?
I keep telling you guys, I haven't got any partner. I don't know what you're talking about.
You want to explain the gun?
I don't have to. I never saw that gun before. You guys turned it on me. That's what you say. Well, I say it ain't mine. You planted it.
What about the victims?
They made a mistake. It's happened before. Lots of times. You read about it all the time where some joker gets up in court, swears he knows some fella, guy ends up spending a couple of years for something he didn't do. All the time. There's stories like that in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Well, you sit there and think you're clean. We got it figured different.
I don't care how you got it figured. I'm telling the story the way it happened. Now, you keep talking about this fella Whale or whatever it is. I don't know. I never heard of him. All these jobs you say I did. I don't know anything about them either.
I'll get it.
Oh, yeah, well. Got a call from D. Lightner.
Yeah.
Picked up Llewellyn.
Girl's apartment?
Yeah, he copped out, gave him the whole story. We're bringing him in now.
Okay, thanks.
Well, you just heard it, Saba.
How about it? You want to make a statement now?
Might go easier if you tell us.
Get out of here!
All right, grab him. Come on. Sit down there.
Come on, let me out of here. Let me out.
All right, now on your feet. Get up.
Lousy fat slob. If he just kept his mouth shut, that's all. Just kept his big fat mouth shut, we'd been all right. Him and his big mouth.
Now, let's go.
Him and his big fat mouth. Right into the joint. That's where he's put us. Right into the joint.
That's right.
His idea, the whole thing. He's as full of hot air as he is. Well, I hope he's happy. Look what he did. He got me a ticket right into the joint.
No.
Huh?
You paid your own way.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 18th, trial was held in Department 94, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Ronald Evan Saba and Gerard Stephen Llewellyn were tried and convicted of robbery in the first degree, 6 counts, and received sentence as prescribed by law. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years on each count.
Dragnet. The story of your police force in action is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service. Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned a juvenile detail. A woman reports that a teenage boy has been stealing food from her home. She says she's seen him several times. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 12th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of juvenile detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Powers. My name's Friday. I was on my way into the office, and it was 7:57 a.m. when I got to the second floor of Georgia Street Juvenile. Squad room.
Now, don't try to tell me you needed 3 hours to make a simple phone call. He was arrested at 1 o'clock this morning.
That's right.
I didn't hear about it until after 4. Now, why weren't we contacted immediately? My wife was half out of her mind.
We're sorry about that. Oh, morning, Joe.
Morning.
Mr. Neff, this is my partner, Sergeant Friday.
How are you?
This is Vincent Neff's father, Joe.
I see.
Were you in on this thing, too, Friday?
That's right.
Took both of you to arrest a 15-year-old boy, did it?
We made the arrest together. Why?
Well, I'd be ashamed to admit it.
Well, just what seems to be the trouble, Mr. Neff?
My boy's in jail. He's been there all night.
Yes, sir.
I found out about it a couple of hours ago. I want to know why I wasn't called at once.
Well, sir, we called you as soon as we could. Your son wasn't carrying any identification. He refused to answer our questions. We had no way of knowing who to contact.
Well, he was scared, that's all. You can't blame him for that.
Oh.
How'd you get his name if he wouldn't tell you? You beat it out of him?
The other boy we picked up decided to cooperate with us.
I'll just bet he did. He wanted to shift some of the blame. If my son's done anything at all, anything he shouldn't, you can be certain that Lemmert kid put him up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent doesn't even know what this is all about.
You've talked to him, have you?
Certainly. Says it's a mistake, the whole thing.
Sure.
Oh, I suppose the police don't make mistakes, huh?
We make them.
I'll say you do, and you pulled the beauty this time.
It doesn't look that way to us, Mr.
Oh, don't tell me how it looks. I know my son. I know when he's telling the truth. He says this is a mistake, and I believe him.
Well, that's natural, I guess.
You know, I'm not going to make any wild threats or try to go over your heads, but I want that boy released, and I want him released at once.
Sorry, sir, we can't do that.
I'm being just as patient as I can with you, Sergeant.
Mr. Neff, we filed a petition on your son. There'll be a pre-detention hearing in juvenile court as soon as possible. The court will decide what happens to him after that. It's out of our hands now.
It wasn't out of your hands last night when you arrested him.
That was our job.
Your job is to protect people's rights. You're supposed to be cops, not bullies.
Now, take it easy, Mr. Neff.
There's plenty of crime in this town and plenty of criminals. Robberies, killings, holdups. Only trouble is they never get solved. Guess the police force is too busy manhandling youngsters and chasing bums out of freight yards.
All right,
huh?
Mr. Neff.
Too busy or too scared. You're afraid to tackle the real gangsters. You might get hurt. You'd rather pick on a teenage kid who can't fight back. Cowards, that's what you really are. You're cowards, not policemen.
Let me ask you something, Neff. Suppose a couple of guys drive into a filling station. One of them cracks the owner over the head with a tire iron while the other one cleans out the cash register. You think we ought to forget about it or go after him?
I'm not interested in hypothetical cases. I'm talking about my son.
So am I.
What do you mean?
You said you spoke to the boy. Didn't he tell you why he's here?
He said he didn't know. Is that what it is? You think he's mixed up in a filling station robbery? Is that where you're holding him?
Maybe you better ask him again.
I'm asking you.
Yes, that's right. That's it.
Well, you'd better be able to prove it, Sergeant. Believe me, you'd just better be able to prove it.
A woman across the street from the station saw two boys drive away. She got the license number.
Vince doesn't have a car.
It was young Lemmert's jalopy. But your son was still with him when we made the arrest.
Well, that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove they were together at the filling station. It was some other boy, not Vince.
That's what your son says, too.
Well, then why don't you believe him?
Lemmert gave us a different story.
Well, what do you expect? He doesn't want to take all the blame. He's in a jam, and he wants some company.
The woman across the street is sure there were two boys, Mr. Neff.
Well, that doesn't make one of them my Vince. Does she say it was Vince? Is she willing to swear to it?
No, sir.
What about the owner of the station? Has he identified my son?
He can't identify anybody. He's still unconscious.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry for him, of course, but you haven't got any right to blame Vince. And you haven't got any evidence against him either.
We got the tire iron that was used in the slugging, Neff.
Well, what about it?
We had it checked by Leighton Prince.
Well?
They found a set.
Well, they can't be Vince's fingerprints. They can't be.
I'm afraid they are.
Oh. No, you're wrong. You made a mistake.
Not this time.
Look, we're sorry, Mr. Neff.
Oh, why would Vince do a thing like this? There's no reason. He's had everything we could give him. It'd be different if we were poor, if he didn't get an allowance every week.
Yeah.
There's just no reason.
No, sir, I guess he found one.
Well, I'm sorry. Sorry if I was a little rough on you.
It's all right.
I better get on home now. His mother will... She'll want to know if he's all right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there's one thing.
Yes, sir?
If he really did this terrible thing, I'm glad you caught him right away, right after it happened. Now we've got a chance.
Sir?
But it won't happen again.
What do you got there? Oh, I didn't realize I still had it with me. What is that? Well, it's one of those puzzles with numbers. You move around, try to line them up. Oh. The kids brought it home last night. I was showing them how to work it. Guess I stuck it in my pocket. Mm-hmm. It's real easy, Joe. There, you see? I got them all in order. One... That's funny. Why, what's the matter? Nothing. I just had a couple out of sequence, that's all. Well, give me a minute, can't you, Joe? You got 3 numbers in the wrong place. Look, now. Joe, I can't work the puzzle when you're watching me like that. Oh, I see. I get it. Juvenile Friday. Yes, ma'am. I see. Well, do you know the boy? Will you give me your address, please? All right. I have it. What? Yes, ma'am, we would. Will you be home? All right. Thank you very much. Lady up in the Hollywood Hills. Yeah? Some youngster's been stealing groceries out of her garage. She know who it is? She's got a pretty good idea. Yeah? She almost caught him. Frank and I left the office and drove out to a hillside address on Edgewood Drive, 2 miles north of Hollywood Boulevard. It was 9:17 a.m. when we got there.
Well, there isn't too much to tell. A week, 10 days ago, I started missing things from the garage here.
What sort of things?
Canned goods. I keep an extra supply on those shelves over there in the corner.
I see.
Well, there wasn't much gone, just a couple of items now and then. At first, I wasn't even certain. I thought maybe I'd used them up myself and forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then this morning, I saw him. It was right after Clarence went to work.
Well, now, about what time would that be?
7 a.m. That's when he leaves. No later than 5 after.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing up the breakfast dishes, and I heard somebody fussing around the garage. By the time I got to the back door, he was sneaking off across the yard. I gave a shout and started after him.
What happened then?
I guess my yelling kind of took him by surprise. Anyway, he turned around and dropped the stuff he was holding. He sure didn't wait to pick it up, though. He started off as fast as his legs would carry him. He headed up the hill there. That was the last I saw of him.
Well, now, just what was it he dropped, Miss Roman?
A couple of cans of my groceries and a big paper bag. That's it there on the stool there.
Mm-hmm.
I looked inside. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I thought it might be some more of my canned goods.
That's all right. What do you got, Joe? Books? Huh? Books here. Huh? Theoretical Physics, Principles of Dynamics, Frontiers of Molecular Structure.
Couldn't make head nor tail of them myself. Must be something he's studying.
Yes, ma'am. His name in them? No. No, they're all from the Hollywood Library. Mm-hmm. Wonder if you could tell us what he looks like, Miss Roman.
Yes, I guess so. First off, I'd say he looks like books.
How's that?
Well, you know, the studying
Oh,
type.
yes, I see.
Sort of thin and pinched.
Mm-hmm.
Blondish hair. Light complected.
About how tall is he?
5'6" or 7. Might look taller than he really is on account of being so thin.
Mm-hmm. About how old would you say he was?
15, 16, somewhere in there. Just a youngster.
Did you notice his clothes?
Hat on, pants looked pretty worn. And the sweater.
What about the color?
The sweater was blue. Pants were too faded to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you to understand one thing, Mr. Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not real upset about him taking our food. If he needs it, that is. It just seems to me there ought to be a better way of going about it. Nobody has to steal.
Yes, ma'am. Is today the first time you ever saw this boy, Miss Roman?
Oh, no. I've seen him a couple of times before. One or two mornings he walked past the house on his way down the hill. Other evening I saw him heading back up. Of course, I didn't connect him with my missing groceries then.
Well, we'll have a look around. If he just lives up on the hill, he shouldn't be too hard to find.
Oh, no, Mr. Friday. He doesn't live up there. Nobody does.
Ma'am?
Edgewood Drive gives out 100 yards beyond us, just around the next curve.
Oh, I see.
We're the last house.
9:32 a.m. Frank and I left Mrs. Roman. We drove up to the end of Edgewood Drive, and we got out of the car.
Well, she's right, Joe.
What's that?
No place for anybody to live around here. I think you were way out in the country.
Yeah. Frank?
Huh?
Over there, halfway up on the slope.
Where?
See? Right behind that tree.
Oh, yeah.
What's it look like to you?
I don't know. Oh, I guess. Why?
Maybe that's where he set up housekeeping. Huh?
What are you talking about, Joe?
Well, didn't you ever try when you were a kid?
Try what?
Hiding out in the cave? We climbed up the side of the hill. About 200 yards east of the road, we came to a small hole. Behind this opening was a shallow natural cave. Frank and I crawled inside. The cave was about 8 feet long and 4 feet wide. The boy we were looking for was not there, but there was plenty of evidence that this was where he'd been living. A sleeping bag was rolled up in one corner. Beside it was a small supply of canned food. We found 10 or 12 notebooks filled with handwritten mathematical equations and some 50 textbooks on advanced physics or higher mathematics.
He sure believes in making use of the public library.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Just about every branch in town.
Well, I suppose there are worse things he could be reading.
Yeah. Looks like they aren't all library books.
What do you got, Joe?
There's a couple here with book plates.
Huh?
Owners' names in them. Book plates in 3 of the texts indicated that they were owned by a person named Carl Winderman. All the other volumes were the property of various Los Angeles libraries. We contacted the office and made arrangements for another team of juvenile officers to stake out on the cave. On our way downtown, we stopped off at the Hollywood Library. We showed the librarian several volumes which belonged to that branch. Her records indicated that the books had not been checked out. She had no idea who had taken them or when. 11:13 a.m. We put out a local with the boy's description, and we checked with missing persons. As far as we could tell, he had not been reported missing. 11:46 a.m. Frank and I made several calls to branch libraries. They all said that the books in question had been removed from their shelves without authorization. We checked the phone directories for the name Carl Winderman. At 12:06 p.m., we reached him at his office at Bradfield University.
Yes, sir, I see. Well, that'd be up to you, sir, any time you say. That'd be fine with us. Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much. That's the right guy, Joe. Head of the physics department.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything that might help us?
Yeah, he knows the boy.
4:16 p.m. Frank and I drove out to the Bradfield campus. We met with Dr. Carl Winderman in his office on the second floor of the science building.
Yes, I've talked to the boy several times.
Mm-hmm. Did you know he had these books of yours?
Of course, I loaned them to him.
Oh, I see.
How'd you happen to meet him, Doctor?
It was here at the university.
Yes, sir.
He came to see me. He had read some articles of mine. He wished to discuss them.
What's that?
It was not presumptuous. He has a brilliant mind. Extraordinary.
I see.
And he also wished to inquire about enrolling. He asked about a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to discourage him for a year or so at least. He's very young.
Did he say how old he was?
18, that is what he told me. I'm afraid it is not the truth.
About how old would you say he is?
Perhaps 16.
Do you know his name, sir?
Peter.
And his last name?
I suppose he told me, but I'm afraid I do not remember. The typical absent-minded professor.
What about his family? Did he mention them?
No. I imagine they are not well-to-do. The way he was dressed, the inquiry about a scholarship.
Yes, sir.
Did he say where he lives?
In Los Angeles, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think he did mention something about recently coming to California.
Mm-hmm.
From one of the eastern states, Pennsylvania, perhaps.
You wouldn't know which town, would you?
No, I'm sorry.
Is there anything else you can tell us about him, Dr. Winderman?
Well, I would say he is an unhappy boy.
You say he's unhappy?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean?
lonely, aloof. It must be very difficult for him. Other people. Children his age, he would be unable to talk to them. They would have nothing in common, even adults.
I see.
A brilliant mind does not necessarily make for a well-adjusted person, especially in one so young.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Winterman. I'll leave you one of our cards. If you should hear from him again, would you get in touch with us, please?
Yes, of course. If there's anything I can do for Peter...
It's very kind of you.
Is he, in some kind of trouble?
Well, we don't know yet, sir.
I did not mean to pry. Forgive me.
Well, the fact is he's been borrowing some books that don't belong to him.
Books?
Yes, sir, from libraries around town.
To want to read, to want to learn. Is that such a serious crime? It does not seem like one to me.
Yes, sir.
And is that all he's done?
Well, he's taken some other things, too. Food, canned goods.
Yes, of course, I should have known. When he was here, I should have known.
Beg your pardon?
But it has been so long since I've seen one.
What's that, sir?
A boy who's hungry.
Frank and I went back to the office. The officers on stakeout reported that the boy had not returned to the cave. The stakeout was continued. 7:48 p.m. You still fooling with that thing?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking, Joe. It just happened to reach in my pocket.
Let me see. Did you get him in order yet?
I wasn't trying, Joe. I told you I didn't even know I was fooling with it.
I get it.
I wasn't trying.
Yeah. Juvenile Friday. Yeah. Uh-huh. Whereabouts? Okay. We'll be right over. Thank you. Kid walked into a grocery store, walked out without paying for his groceries.
Sound like our boy?
Store's on the corner of Green Street and Edgewood. Frank and I drove out to the Huggin grocery store on the corner of Green and Edgewood. 8:17 p.m. We pulled up and went inside.
I was waiting on another customer. I didn't pay much attention to him. Next thing I knew, he was sneaking out the door. Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
We're police officers. This is Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
You from Central?
That's right.
I'm Davis, Hollywood.
Did you get a description here?
Yeah, my partner's out looking around. I'll give him a hand.
Okay, thank you.
Say, will you take care of the report?
Yeah, we will.
Thanks.
Now, this ain't no big robbery or anything like that. He was just a kid, you understand?
Yes, sir. Could you tell us what he looked like, Mr.
Huggin, Andy Huggin. There seems a sign on the window there.
Yes, I see.
Well, like I said, he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Teenage, about halfway.
How's that?
Halfway in his teens, about 15 or 16.
I see.
Light hair, thin on a rail.
How was he dressed, sir?
Pants, sweater.
I see.
Just what did he take from your store, Mr. Huggin?
Well, I couldn't say for certain. I wouldn't have known he took anything if it hadn't dropped out from under his sweater when he was sneaking out the door.
Yeah.
Can of corned beef. That's what it was that fell.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see which way he went?
Out the door, up the street. Told the other policemen. I guess they were after him.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether I done right or not.
How's that?
In reporting it, I expect it seems like a lot of fuss about a few groceries.
No, sir.
Trouble it is, you let one of them get away with something like this, the news gets around. Next thing you know, the store's full of them, you know. The kids try to steal you blind.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Worse than a plague of locusts.
Sergeant?
Yeah, Davis.
Out in the car?
What?
We got him.
The patrol car officers had found the boy hiding in an alley a few blocks west of the grocery store. We transferred him to our vehicle and drove him down to Georgia Street. 9:46 p.m., we took him up to the interrogation room for questioning.
Sit down, son.
All right, now you want to tell us about it?
About what?
Well, let's start with your name, huh?
Well,
Paul
Paul what?
Jones.
You sure about that, are you?
I don't know my own name.
Yeah, you should.
Where do you live, Paul?
San Diego.
What are you doing in L.A.?
Just looking around, that's all.
Mm-hmm. What's your address, son?
Huh?
In San Diego, what's your address?
I don't know.
You know your name, but you don't know where you live.
Only moved to California a few weeks ago.
You live with your folks?
Sure.
They have a telephone?
Uh-uh.
What's father's name?
Bill. Bill Jones.
How long you been in Los Angeles, son?
Just today.
Just today.
Hitchhiked in this morning.
Did you ever hear of a man named Carl Winderman?
Who is he?
Now, look, Pete, you're not doing yourself any good here. Did you hear what I said?
My name's Paul.
Why'd you steal that stuff from the grocery store, son?
I don't know.
What kind of an answer is that? You're in trouble, Pete. Serious trouble.
Am I?
All right, you won't tell us, we'll tell you. You didn't come to Los Angeles today. You've been here for a couple of weeks. You've been living in a cave up in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah?
And this grocery store tonight isn't the first time you've gotten out of line.
Why'd you take all those books, son?
What books?
Well, just shows you how much these college professors really know.
Huh?
Like that Dr. Winderman. He says you're a smart kid. You got a real good head on your shoulders. Well, he's a pretty poor judge of brains, isn't he?
What you know about it?
Well,
He's so far ahead of you guys.
thought you never heard of him. All right, now, Pete, let's quit fooling around. Let's have it straight. All of it.
What do you want?
Your name isn't Paul Jones. Now, what is it?
Siler.
Pete Siler?
Yeah.
Where's your home?
You found it.
I didn't mean that cave, your real home.
I don't know. I used to live with my sis back in Philly.
Well, what happened?
She got married, threw me out.
What about your folks?
They're dead. What the heck you doing? That thing.
It's just a puzzle.
Oh.
You're supposed to line up the numbers, 1 through 15.
Yeah?
Here, you want to try it?
Is that all? Just line them up?
Sure.
Now what?
Well, that's it, I guess.
Oh.
Why'd you come out to California, Pete?
Wanted to go to college. Thought maybe I could study physics.
Did you finish high school?
No, not the history and English part.
What do you mean?
Science and math, I finished them a couple of years ago when I was a kid.
Just how old are you?
16 almost.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be harder if you didn't look at it.
Huh?
That puzzle.
Yeah?
You know, let the guy see it first so he knows just where the numbers are.
Oh, yeah.
Then make him work it with his hands behind his back. For memory.
Huh.
Be harder that way.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Go ahead, mix them up.
Okay. I thought you were going to memorize it first.
I did. Take a look. I get them right?
Yeah.
It's harder that way, though.
All right, Pete, now let's go back to it.
Hmm?
Why'd you take all those books?
I wanted to study them. I was going to return them when I was through. I couldn't get a library card, not without a real address.
What about the canned goods you've been stealing?
It wasn't much, just enough to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's going to happen to me now?
Well, that's not up to us.
Well?
What do you think ought to happen?
Well, I don't know. I don't see where I did anything so wrong.
You don't, huh?
Well, did I?
You stole books, you stole food. You caused us a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Well, you're the whiz at math, aren't you?
Huh?
You add it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On April 16th, a hearing was held in juvenile court, the state of California, in and for the county of Los Angeles. Peter Ellis Siler was made a ward of the juvenile court and was placed in a foster home. Through the efforts of Dr. Carl Winderman, he was permitted to enroll in Bradfield University as a special student in the field of higher mathematics and physics.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
ladies and gentlemen. The story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Internal Affairs Division. A man who claims he's a policeman has been accepting bribes in your city. Evidence points to the fact that he is an officer. Your job? Check it out.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, April 18th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Internal Affairs Division. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Fulton. My name's Friday. I was on my way into the office, and it was 7:58 a.m. when I got to room 36, squad room. Good morning.
Hi.
Ooh, are we keeping you up? Huh? There's a couch down the hall. Maybe you can use that.
Yeah. Remember a couple of months ago, Faye was on that quiz show?
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as I heard something about that.
Well, one of the prizes was a dog. You know, they were going to give us a little pup.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out they were giving away cockers. Very nice dog. Thoroughbred.
Mm-hmm.
Faye and me talked it over and decided we'd rather have one of those basset hounds.
What are they?
Well, one of those dogs with a little short hind legs and long ears. You know, long face. Basset hounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see them in the magazines. You know, they got sad eyes, always look so sad.
Yeah.
They were hard to get. We had to wait a while. I got the call Saturday. Pup was there.
Mm-hmm.
I went out and picked him up.
Mm-hmm. Named him Hector.
Yeah, that's it, Hector.
Why?
Why? Well, because the old expression kind of fit.
Mm-hmm.
Since Hector was a pup. Get it, Joe? Hector, see, still a pup. Oh, Hector the pup. I was up with him all night. Mm-hmm. He couldn't sleep. Kept whining.
You still work here, don't you?
I just stayed up and kind of hummed to him, did something.
You still working here?
Oh.
Anything come in this morning?
Yeah, there's a couple of mug shots over there from Sacramento.
Thank you.
I'll be glad to get to bed tonight.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. Something we can do for you?
Man down room 38, Bunko, told me to come here.
Yes, ma'am.
DeBetta, that's his name, said see you.
Mm-hmm.
Want to report something.
All right, would you like to sit down?
Thank you.
No, what can we do for you?
I think it's been too long.
What's that?
Well, I paid for it over a month ago. I'm tired of waiting.
You want to tell us about what you mean?
Well, Henry should be home by now. It's been over a month.
Who's Henry?
My husband, Henry Farwell. When I gave the man the money, he said he'd get Henry out of jail right away. That's what he told me.
What man?
The man who came to see me.
Oh, yes, ma'am, but who was he?
A policeman.
8:12 a.m. We continued to talk to the woman. She identified herself as Mrs. Henry Farwell, and she gave us the full story.
When did this man approach you, ma'am?
Just a minute, Mr. Smith. I got it all written down.
Ma'am?
Got it right here in my bag. Yep, here it is. March 6th. That's when I met him.
Where was that?
What?
Where'd you meet him?
He come to the house, my house. Told me he wanted to talk to me about something. Said it was important.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know him. There wasn't any reason he'd have anything important to talk to me about. But he said he knew the mister.
You mean your husband?
That's right. Henry Farwell.
Is he in prison?
Yes. Been there for 3.5 years.
We don't like to ask this, Miss Farwell, but it's necessary.
Burglary. That's what he was convicted for. Judge told him he'd go to jail for 5 years to life.
Mm-hmm.
Was this the first time he's been in jail?
I thought so. First, I thought it was all a mistake. They was wrong about the mister.
Yes, ma'am.
They weren't. Came out in the trial. Seems he'd done the same thing before, twice before.
I see.
I didn't know about it when we got married. Didn't have any idea.
Mm-hmm.
The mister's my second husband.
Mm-hmm.
First one died 10 years ago. Woman my age gets lonely, So when Mr. Farwell asked me to marry him, I said yes. Then I found out about the stealing.
And this man said he knew your husband, is
That's
that right?
right. Told me they met several years ago.
Uh-huh.
Then he went on to tell me how the mister could get out.
What do you mean?
The way he told it, if you had friends who knew the right people, you could get out of jail.
What's that?
If the right people were paid, a man could get out of prison.
Uh-huh. And he wanted you to give him some money?
Not at first. When he came to the house at the beginning, he didn't even mention it, not at all.
When did he bring it up?
Oh, about a week later. Came over in the afternoon. I was out in the yard, and he said he'd met the people who were important, the ones who could get the mister out of prison.
Did he say who these people were?
No, just told me he'd met them.
Mm-hmm. So what happened then?
On March 14th, he told me that it could be arranged for the mister to get out of jail.
Tell me, did he tell you how this could be done?
Well, from what he told me, he'd talk to the right people. That's the way he said it, the right people.
I see.
If he gave him $5,000, the mister could be turned out.
5,000, huh?
Yes. I told him I couldn't give him that much, that I just didn't have it.
What'd the man say when you told him that?
Asked me how much I could give him.
Mm-hmm.
I said if I sold a few things, did what I could to get more money, I might be able to pay $3,500.
Well, what'd he say about that? Say it'd be all right?
No. He told me he'd have to go back and talk to the people. Ask them if it'd be enough.
When'd you see him again?
2 days. He came back.
What'd he say then?
Told me it'd be okay. The money'd be enough.
Mm-hmm.
I got it together and gave it to him.
That same day?
No, it was 2 days later, on March 16th. That's when I gave him the money.
I see.
Yeah, it's been over a month now, and the mister still hasn't been turned out. I wrote to him, but he doesn't say anything about coming home. I don't think he knows anything about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I don't want to cause any trouble. Just want the mister out of prison, or else I want my money back.
You told us this man was a policeman?
That's right.
In what city?
I don't understand.
Well, what city did he work in, or what city did he say he worked in?
Here, in Los Angeles, right here.
Did he show you some identification?
Oh, yes. I wouldn't just hand over the money without that. I saw his badge.
Mm-hmm. Does it look like this one?
Let me see. Yeah. Just like that one. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Did he give you a name?
Yes. He said he was Jim Sorvell. Sergeant Jim Sorvell.
That's Sorvell?
That's right.
I'll check.
Did you see anything else to identify him?
What do you mean?
Well, did he show you any other cards, anything else?
You mean it might be a wrong name?
That's right.
Oh, no, I'm sure about that. I wouldn't just hand my money over to anybody. I was sure.
Well, how do you mean?
I saw his driver's license.
Did he tell you where he worked?
You mean in what department?
That's right.
Yes. It's one of the reasons I believed him, because of where he worked.
Well?
Right here in the city hall.
While I continued to talk to Mrs. Farwell, Frank put in a call to personnel. 3 minutes later, he called me out into the hall.
Let me close the door.
What do you got?
Well, I checked the personnel record.
Yeah, what'd you find out?
Looks like she was telling the truth.
What?
There is a Jim Sarvell.
City Hall?
Well, closer than that.
Huh?
Auto theft detail.
We put in a call to auto theft detail and asked that Sergeant James Sorvell see us right away. While the victim waited in the squad room, Frank and I took the officer down to the interrogation room.
Go ahead, sit down, Jim.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, what's this all about?
Well, it's a rough one, Jim. We hope you got the answers.
Now, give me a try.
How long you been a policeman?
12 years.
How long you been working auto theft, Jim?
2 years this time. I worked there before, about 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Well, what's this all about, anyway?
You know a woman named Farwell?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think I do.
How about a man, Henry Farwell?
No, I don't think so. No, wait a minute.
Hmm?
A few years ago when I was working burglary, seems we had a suspect with that name.
Yeah.
Big guy. Fallen twice before, the way I remember. Bad name around town.
Might be the same one.
What about him? I heard he went to the joint a couple of years ago.
Well, his wife came in here this morning.
Yeah.
says she gave a man $3,500 to get Farwell out of jail.
Lawyer?
No. Some kind of a deal. This fellow said he knew the right people. Told her a little juice would open the doors for her old man.
How do I fit into this?
Well, this guy told her he was a policeman. Showed her ID to prove it.
What name?
Yours.
You believe it?
Well, no, we don't want to. We figured we'd get your side of the story first.
Well, there's nothing to tell you, Friday. I had no part in the action. That's the truth.
I hope it stands up.
It's got to. I don't know anything about the deal. Nothing at all. I wouldn't know the woman if she walked in here right now.
Well, then you don't mind letting her take a look at you, then?
No. Bring her in.
Right?
Yeah.
How'd she happen to pick me?
Told us the fellow that took her gave your name.
Must be a goof up someplace.
Mm-hmm. You got your driver's license?
Yeah.
Want to show it to me?
Sure. Next line is, take it out of your wallet, isn't it?
I don't like this any better than you do, Jim.
Here you are.
You got your badge on you?
Yeah. You want that, too?
Well, I want to see it.
All right.
Miss Farwell says the suspect showed her a badge. Said it looked good.
I don't think it was mine.
Well,
Here.
You want to step inside, Miss Farwell?
Yes, thank you.
all right, Miss Farwell. You know this man?
Yeah? Seems I've seen him someplace before. Yes.
Now be careful and look carefully. Do you know where you've seen him?
I'm trying to think.
Take your time. Be sure.
Yes, ma'am. Please be sure.
Yeah, hair's a little shorter. Had a mustache before. But I can tell. I can tell for sure.
What's that?
He's the one that took my money.
Mrs. Farwell was taken down the hall where she made a complete report. We continued to interrogate Sergeant James Servell, but he maintained his innocence. He was suspended from the police department pending an investigation by our detail and the district attorney's office. A week went by. During that time, we talked to Sorvell's friends and the men he worked with. His financial condition was investigated. He owed some money, but he was not behind in his payments. His bank account didn't show any large deposits, and from what we could find out, he was not living beyond his means. If he was guilty, he hadn't spent any of the money that he'd taken. We asked the staff's office to make a run on con men who had used a similar approach. They came back with a list of 18 possible suspects. We pulled the mug shots from the packages on the men, and we drove out to see Mrs. Farwell. She showed us into the living room of a very small house.
Now then, what is it this time? You come to bring my money back?
No, ma'am.
Well, when am I going to get it? Seems like a long time. The mister's still in prison, and I haven't got my money.
Yes, ma'am. We'd like you to look at some pictures, if you would.
What for?
We'd like to see if you recognize any of the men.
Sure, I got nothing else to do. Let's see 'em.
There you are, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. All right. Now, looked at the pictures. Now I get the money.
No, ma'am.
When do I get it?
Well, we haven't been able to recover it yet.
What?
We haven't found it yet.
What about that man you got, Sorvell? What about him?
Ma'am?
Make him tell you where the money is. He took it. Make him tell.
From what we've been able to find out, he hasn't got it.
Now we get down to cases, huh?
What's that?
Let's lay the cards on the table. I'm getting pretty mad about it. When I first came to see you, I wanted the money back. Either that or to have the mister out of prison. Either one. It didn't much matter which, but I did want one of them.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Now, you've got the man who took the $3,500. Got him in jail. And you tell me you can't find the money. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Right.
You want to know what I think? You want to know?
What's that?
I think you're all in it together. That's what I think. The whole bunch of you, all in the thing together.
That's not true.
You say so, but I think different. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Friday. I'm not going to wait anymore. I want the money back, or I'm going to the newspapers again. I'll tell them what's happened. They'll get me some
Now,
action.
just a minute, Miss Farwell.
No, I won't. I've done all my waiting already. You think that just because I'm an old woman, you can push me around. Well, you just got another thing coming. I want that money, and I want it right now. And if I don't get it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
We're doing everything we can to get your money
Well, then
back.
you better start doing more, because I'm not happy at all. All you cops, you stick together. Well, this time it's not going to do you any good.
You don't understand, Miss Farwell.
I think I do. Maybe too much. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll give you just 3 days to get that money back, or I'll scream my head off to the newspapers. You've got the man in jail. Next thing, you'll be telling me he didn't do it.
We're not sure he did.
Uh-huh. Well, he did. I guess I know. I'm the one he stole from. He's the man, and I want to see him in prison, too.
Well, if he's guilty, that's where he'll go.
I'm telling you he is. What more do you need?
Just one more thing.
What's that?
Proof. Frank and I went back to the office and met with Captain Fulton. We laid out the results of our investigation. According to what the victim had told us, we had the right man in custody. But according to the evidence we'd found, it was a case of mistaken identity. 2 days later, on Thursday, April 28th, we got a call from a bartender out on Vermont Avenue. Frank and I drove out to see him.
Hi.
I'd like to see Vince Elkhart.
I'm him. What do you want?
Police officers. Frank Smith, my name's Friday.
Oh, yeah? Want to come back here? We can talk.
Yeah, fine. All right, what do you want to see us about?
I know I'm letting myself in for a lot of trouble. Anything you guys can do to help me out, I'd appreciate it. But I ain't asking for no special treatment.
Well, I suppose you tell us what it is.
Well, night before last, a couple of kids came in. They sat at the bar, ordered a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they looked kind of young, so I asked to see their ID. Playing it safe, you know.
Go ahead.
Well, they showed me their driver's licenses. I checked them. Looked all right to me. So I served them.
Yeah.
Guess it made them kind of embarrassed. They only had one and then shoved off.
Mm-hmm.
They was no sooner out of the place when this guy came up. Told me he wanted to talk.
What about?
Said the two kids were underage, minors. That I'd served them and the beef was on.
Well, who was it?
That's why I called you. Maybe I was wrong serving the kids. Maybe I did make a mistake, but I sure ain't going to stand for no shakedown. Not a penny's worth.
This man tried it, did he?
Sure. Told me if I paid off, he'd forget what he saw.
Well, who is it?
Cop. Name of Jim Servell.
We got a description of the man who tried to blackmail Vince Elkhart. It matched Sergeant Jim Sorvell. While I continued to talk to Elkhart, Frank put in a call to the policeman and asked him to come over to the bar. It took him 12 minutes to get there. He was brought into the place and confronted by the bartender.
Would you turn around?
Sure. How's that?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
How about it?
Isn't any doubt as far as I'm concerned.
No.
He's the wrong man.
We made arrangements for Vince Elkhart, the bartender, to come down to the city hall and go through the mug books. He was unable to find a picture of the suspect. We contacted CII up in Sacramento and asked them to check their files. Thursday, 5:30 p.m., we returned to the bar.
No. Come right down to it, I guess I should have known he wasn't a cop. Should have known it all along.
Have you seen this fellow before?
I'm not sure about that. Seems like I might have, but I can't be sure.
Mm-hmm.
We do a pretty good business in here. A lot of people. He might have been around, but I can't name a date or time.
Was he with anybody the night he was in here, do you remember?
I don't remember. Matter of fact, I don't even remember him coming in. Just all of a sudden, after the kids left, he was at the bar, tossing me the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Really saddened me to think a cop would pull a stunt like that.
What'd you tell him when he asked you for the payoff?
Said for him to get out of the place. That if he was going to make a pinch, to go ahead and do it, or else clear out.
Did he leave?
Yeah. Said I didn't give him any choice. Walked out.
Hello. Yeah, that's right. Just a minute. Hey, Vince.
Yeah?
Catch the phone, will you?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Sure, go ahead. Hello? Yeah, that's right. Who? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. No, I understand. Uh-huh. Well, it's nice of you. Sure, I thought about it. Okay. Yeah. Goodbye. You guys must live right. That was him.
The phony cop?
Yeah. He'll be right over.
Frank and I took up positions in the back of the bar. 20 minutes later, the suspect walked in.
Hi, Elkhart. Hello. Want to give me a Coke high?
Sure. Looks like him. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's sure been cold lately, huh?
Yeah.
Not doing much business.
Slow night. Here's your drink.
Thanks. Where can we talk?
It's all right, dear.
And what about the two guys in the back?
They won't bother anybody. Both gassed.
All right, Alcott, what about it?
You mean the payoff?
That's right. I talked to the boys downtown. They say they'll let you off the hook for $750.
That's a lot of money.
Your license is worth more, isn't it?
I suppose so. But I got to know what I'm buying. Who are these guys downtown?
Well, that doesn't come into it. All you got to do is dig up the money.
How high does the juice go?
What do you mean?
Just that. How far up does the payoff go?
All the way to the top?
We got enough. All right.
Yes, sir. You play along with us, and you'll do all right.
This is him.
All right, mister, let's go.
What are you talking about? What is this?
Police officers, you're under arrest.
For what?
Suspicion grand theft, impersonating an officer, and we ought to be able to figure up a couple more on the way downtown.
Oh, hey, you guys are wrong. You made a mistake.
Sure we have. Stand still.
You're going to be awful sorry about this.
Is that right?
Sure, I got a lot of friends in town. Some of them pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
You mind giving me your names and numbers? I want to be sure I got the right dope on you guys. Time I get through, you'll both be working so far out, you'll need a passport to get home.
Mm-hmm. Got it all figured, haven't you?
Front, back, and in the middle.
Yeah.
Like reading a story.
Well, I don't know about the first part.
Yeah.
But I can tell you how it's going to end. The suspect was taken down to the city hall. He refused to give us his name, and a thorough search of his person failed to turn up anything to aid in identifying him. His fingerprints were rolled, and while we waited for the results of the check, Frank and I talked to the suspect in the squad room.
How long you figure you're going to be able to keep this thing up?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, come off it. We've got you dead to rights, and you know it.
News to me.
Why don't you tell us who you are?
I forgot.
You know a man named Jim Sorvell?
I don't think so.
Well, according to that bartender, you said you were Sorvell.
Oh, he's got a big mouth.
Look, have you ever been arrested?
I forgot.
You better get your memory back.
Why?
Okay. ID, Smith. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Toss me that card.
Here you are.
Thanks. All right. 46? Yeah. Yeah. Right. 52, huh? Okay. All right, thanks a lot. You better get in touch with those big friends of yours.
I will when it's necessary.
Well, time just came up. We got your record.
Hmm?
Full name, Charles Bobo Kiernan Offner. He's fallen twice in California, once for GTA, once for attempted robbery. There's an outstanding one from Eureka and two from out of state, all three on charges of extortion. Want to read the rest of it?
How about it?
You don't have to. I'm in the box.
Where's the badge and the driver's license?
My place.
Where's that?
Hotel over on Grand.
Where'd you get the badge?
Bought it. Guy I know. It's one of the old ones. Mark doesn't know the difference.
Yeah. How about the license?
Made that up myself.
Why'd you pick Sorvell?
Looked like a good dodge. A cop who's going to cause trouble.
Why him?
Tagged a cleaning store out in Highland Park one night. Must be the place where the Sorvell does business. The clerk thought I was him. We got to talking. Things just worked out.
What about the prison deal? How'd you build that for yourself?
Oh, I know a guy up at Q. He buddies up with a prisoner, gets all the information, and cuts a letter out to me, and I pull the swindle.
How many times you worked the deal?
Collected 3. The last one was an old woman.
What'd you take?
$3,500.
Just you and the guy up in the joints, all there is?
Yeah.
You willing to make a statement?
Sure.
All right, we'll call a stenographer.
Look, can you tell me something?
What's that?
The 2 out-of-state beats, you think they'll extradite me?
We don't call it. Why?
I'd rather do my time here in California. It's nicer here.
Yeah.
Prettier. Lots of nice scenery in California. It's different.
Well, I wouldn't worry.
Hmm?
You won't see much of it.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 28th, trial was held in Department 96, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Charles Kiernan Offner was tried and convicted on grand theft money, 3 counts, and received sentence as prescribed by law. Grand theft money is punishable by imprisonment for a period of not less than 1 nor more than 10 years in the state penitentiary. Sergeant James Sorville was reinstated in his duties with full back pay. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.